Hello everyone and welcome to Beginner's Code, a place for you to learn with me as I dive deeper into the coding world. Before I start, this video is brought to you by SiteGround. If you're looking for a hosting service that is fast, reliable and has great customer service, please do check out the link in the description below. This is an affiliate link, so if you do end up being a SiteGround customer through my link, I will receive a little and this will be extremely beneficial for the channel. Or if you're wanting to learn more about Python, then make sure you check out my website, Instagram or GitHub for projects. The links for these will all be in the descriptions below, so please do check them out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me as I teach you through the basics. Today we will be looking at some useful operators that come built in with Python. These are often used and can really help boost your programs to make them feel more interactive. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the range function. And the range function is actually a generator, which will help us just generate a list of numbers. And what we can do, just like with indexing, is we can have a start number, a stop number, and a step number. So what I can do, just to show you, is if we have the range function, we can pass in a start number, which will be 0, so it will start at 0. A stop number, which could be 10, and that will go up to but not including 10. And then a step number, so we could put in 2, and this will just return all the even numbers within the range of 0 to 10. Now, if I save this and run it, you'll notice down here nothing happens. Whereas if I put this in a print statement and then run it, you'll notice we get back exactly what we've put up here. And that's because it needs to actually be cast into a data type. So what we can do is wrap the whole thing into a list and run it, and we get 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Now, it needs to be cast into a list because it is generating the numbers. It literally will go through and generate each number one by one, and if there's no place to store it, then it's going to drop it off, which is why they are very, very useful with for loops. So what we can do is for I in range, and then we can have 0 through to 10. We can then print I, and you'll see down here we get all the outputs back from 0 through to 9, including 9. But what we can also do then is just affect it with an if statement or something like that within the for loop. So if I mod 2 is double equal to 1, print I, actually we'll create a f string that says I is odd, and we'll print it, and then you'll see down here 1 is odd, 3 is odd, 5 is odd, 7 is odd, 9 is odd. Now, we can also use the range function for lots of different things, but one thing that is extremely useful is generating a large list. So we can just print range and then do 0 to 100. And if I print this, you will see down here we get every single number back up to but not including 100. If we wanted the 100 in there, we can change this to 101 and you'll get that one back. So the range function is extremely useful to just generate a lot of numbers in there. Now, the next one that we're going to talk about is the in keyword, and that will basically output a true or false boolean. Now, this is extremely useful, just like conditional operators. This is extremely useful for if statements or for while loops. So, for example, if I create a word that just says hello, and then if I say if the string of h in word, we will print yes. And if I run this, we get yes back. I'm just going to clear this down here to make it a little easier to see. We get yes back, and that is because the letter H is in the word hello. And as I said, this is outputting a true or false boolean, and because it's true, the if statement has run because it's true, and then we have printed this piece of code below it. Whereas if I changed this to a capital H and run it, we get nothing back because there's no else statement to catch the false if statement. But if I was to say not in and run it, we get yes back, because although this is saying not in and it seems kind of confusing, what it's actually saying is if it's in there. So if the uppercase H is not in the word hello, which it's not because the lowercase h is, then we print yes. We can also do this for numbers as well. So if I create a list of nums that takes the range function of 0 through to 10, and then if I say if 4 in nums, print 4. And if I run this, we get 4 back because it is true. We can also use this for dictionary keys and dictionary values. So if I was to create a dictionary that had just the value and the key of key and value, then what we can do is we can see if key in dictionary.keys and then print yes. And if I run this, we get yes back because the key here is in the keys of the dictionary. But if I change this to items, we don't get anything back, and that's because it won't actually check the items. It will only check the keys or just the values. It won't check them together. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the min and max functions. And so the first one is the min function, which will literally do what you think it's going to do. It will check to see what the minimum number is of a list or a tuple or any kind of data set that involves more than one. So what we can do is create a list, and I'll use the range function to grab 100 different numbers. Now we can print the min of list 1, so that will print the lowest number in the list, which should be 0, which it is. And then if I change this to max and run this, we get 100 because it is up to but not including 101. So the next number down from 101, which is inclusive, is 100. Now we can also use a sum number, or a sum function, sorry. So if I was to just create that list again, and then I'll do range 0 through to 10, we can use sum and pass in the list, and this will add up every single number within that list. So what we get back is 45, because 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 all the way through to 9 returns 45. And you'll see, because there's two different print statements, we get both answers back and both answers are the same. That's all for today's video. Hopefully this has helped your understanding of how you can use some of Python's built-in keywords to shortcut some of your needs, and in essence, speed up the time you spend coding. If there's anything that you'd like me to cover further, please don't hesitate in reaching out to me by dropping a comment below on Instagram or through my website. Stay tuned, as in my next video I will be going through a matplotlib project which outputs a graph for data that I found. If you liked what we've been through today and you want to learn more, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date. Thank you, and see you next time.